Thank you so much. And of course, thank you so much to Mr. Lizwana for the work that you do. Like I said earlier on, we live in a country that hardly celebrates young people for the work that they do. And so it was really great hearing about and reflecting as well about the journey of inside education and these awards. How long and how far that they've come. And the fact that we here today see the fruits of the game and that going forward and even next year you'll be doing more advanced foundation. Of a government of somewhere in Australia in on an even somewhere go flying over drones. Including my phone. Because of my brain. So the main case of this we like sitting there was we can see the so of course, like I said, today is about bringing you 100 South African shining stars who have gone the extra mile to uplift their communities across the country's 9 provinces. These are people that are doing it for themselves. Maya Bush, Maya Shalom, using the very little resources that they have to make an impact and make the much needed changes in their world. It is in these young people's patience, perseverance, empathy, leadership skills, as well as business mind that is, breaking barriers and helping our country build towards one that is sustainable for future generations to come. Before we get into all of that, acknowledging young people in different fields, we'd like to showcase to you one of these shining stars who's doing absolutely well. And the point of that is to show to you individuals who are using the resources that I mentioned earlier on in their communities to not only better their lives, but the lives of those around them. So right now, we're going to be hearing taking a look at the story of one of these shining stars who's doing absolutely well in agriculture in Cape Town. Okay. So I'm just wondering if we have anybody here who is participating or has any business in agriculture or doing anything agriculture related. Or investment bank or insurance, simple. believes that, like I said, he lives peacefully, and he's incorporated that, and even incorporates his nickname into the name of the business. So it's really nice to see people who is doing exceptionally well. Today, in addition to, of course, celebrating young people, is to discuss, I guess, the biggest headache for young people, and it's the staggering or slow growth of our economy and how that continues to hinder the advancement of various young people across the country. And so, next, I'm introducing this session. I would like our panelists to please come to the stage. The first, and almost moment, uh, introduced earlier on is Kanti Pai, who is from Price to House Coopers, and also Yola Yogas, who is from the Pan African Parliament. So both of them will help us engage in the issue of our economy and how much needed is needed. Um, to also help address issues related to these things. To address issues related to youth unemployment. We have heard that time and time again in the news, on X, on our social media platforms, Facebook and so forth, how youth unemployment, continues to grow. Also, how entrepreneurship is pushed as a solution, but not necessarily a place in which young people are flourishing in because of the various elements as well as the environments that may be hindering them from succeeding. So technically, their lives is just one. With mine. So are we saying they're going to share? I'm sorry, that's like thank you so much for that. And this is very good. Welcome for things and just when I'm working, with fire, it's a right? And it could go anywhere. But I think for me, the most important thing is to relate on the people who are here today and how they engage today, right? And how can fix and solutions if they're helpful. Because on a daily basis, we see homeless, on the news and so forth, what are the possibilities, how what the solutions are. But are they available? Is it just even real? So while because it's no secret that within the news that the country is facing mounting economic and social challenges, which comes with no surprise to many people who are sitting here today. Perhaps let's begin with the nature of where we actually stand. Perhaps you may be the one to just so break down being on this issues.
So that thing, you know, working on it, and it was the most thing that happened. And same that investment in membership was increasing. So whenever you got lost out, people say that that's it's like a thing, sure, and it's still not get so you know, get later. Thank you. And you know, it's but I what happens is that most clients they do not take their produce to market. So they've been giving out the stuff and paying it. And you're going in and you're giving those stocks. And they say, well, this person is investing. They know that they can actually pay the market. And then they put all of us risk because of this thing. You know, when still people realize that if I don't start, I'm not going to take it out and see the jobs that have been lost in the mining sector, and see obviously the job that have been lost across our industry. So that is the state of money. Things are not working. I think that's a real, really bad situation. But again, security when you see young people sort of coming out and trying to fix things when they are. And I think that's where the positive energy is, and I think we'll say more about it.
What that then means in terms of real terms, people's lived experiences. We know that there are some households that live below 800 rands a month, which is nothing, right? When in the biggest scheme of things, you need about 20 rands a day to apply for a job at your nearest internet cafe. And so it's this constant battle, right? And this choice that young people have to make. Am I going to buy bread or am I going to look for a job? Those are the real issues, right? And so I'm wondering from your organization, what is the real term of what young people are going through in terms of this negative growth and this going back that Dante is talking about? Good morning, everyone. Well, first, yes, I went to the African Parliament for the Human Rights, I think, is of Victoria. But I think I'm best suited to speak on this from a South African perspective. Because when I went in the Pan African Parliament, I focused on the committees on a broader scale of international relations in relation to the African continent, right? But when you speak about the economic status of young people in this country, it's something that at some point we must not look at a blanket approach. It's this misconception that sometimes happens when politicians in our leaders speak. They speak of young people as a homogeneous group, right? Secondly, when we look at the economy of South Africa right now, we have young people where we categorize them on the need spectrum, right? There are those who are not in employment, not in education, not in entrepreneurship, they're not doing anything, right? And I'm sure you know that was really impeding in your life right now. Secondly, that those people have not gone to have not higher education, even basic education, they're not finished with it, right? And now they're very at the tail end of when you apply for a job, they might not be considered, right? Thirdly, there are those people who have business ideas, but don't have the money to actually execute those business ideas, or even the networks are required for any business to succeed, right? And also, we are those people who have not been in any sort of training. In South Africa, with diverse industries, there are people who have been in processing, mechanics, or any sort, right? All these young people exist in this terrain of South Africa. And when you now address young people must get grants, must get opportunities for entrepreneurship and act, we must take into cognizance that these young people, they cut across different categories, right? And those solutions that we provide, we must not also be in our privileges. Because I love the fact that today we are celebrating young people who are trailblazers, who are doing amazing work, and we have endured circumstances that no one should have endured. We have actually to probably choose one thing over the next, just because they want to one day say, That's something great for my country, right? But of course, to celebrate those today, celebrate too. It's important that the decisions that we are making and the solutions that we are providing, we are also cognizant of everyone else in the continent, even those who we deem their voices. Right. But now to come back to to answer your question on the eight possible solutions that we can have. I'm a very much before we even get to the solutions. For me, it's about establishing first the lived experiences of young people. And for this topic that we're talking about today, are young people engaging enough with the economy? And do we even have a knowledge of what that means and what that entails? Yes, I would like to believe that young people are engaging with the economy. However, remember, because Africa is quite polarized. There are like either you have the money or you don't. The one for middle class is never found. It doesn't necessarily exist unless you did it, right? The business that are hiring led by black people, some of them they will come back and say, living date. I do believe that young people are very much engaged with the economy. We see them selling sweets on the streets. We see them selling everything, polishing our shoes, washing our takis. That is a very small industry economy that needs mentoring, needs funding. But also, it is important that we decolonize what we deem as a proper business and not a proper business. And we decolonize what is education, what is not education. And not only people who've gone to university that we can say this one is educated. There are people with indigenous knowledge systems that they are providing solutions to their communities through entrepreneurship, and they are doing amazing work. And maybe to give an example, last night I was watching the news. I saw a lady who was killing cancer in beds, right? She said, I've never been to a med school, but I saw through my own experiences and I read through the different standards should be sick, and people have been killed. And some people on the comments say they are coming for her. I'm like, why don't we protect our own people, our own education, and start helping when we can? Because the work is being done, but maybe the work needs to spread more, and we need to network more and support each other. Yeah, sure.
Maybe to add to that, I think this is a very, very important point. Maybe when we start with the last one around what we think about education and what we think about skill. One of the reports that I think actually focuses on this, and because as we know, the world is changing. People are adopting new technologies, new ways of working, and so many of the employees were asked, where in terms of whether they're worried about their future. And one of the discoveries is actually that a lot of the people have skills that are not on their CVs. And what that means is that you won't be able to do something because of your past or your environment, that you, for example, be resilient. So one of the key things that many people to find out which of the people in our business are resilient. When we people can start with them, we see from one side of that. The video are starting are really and then who can actually move quickly amongst different items. And if you're somebody would come from a very obviously environment where you help them resilient to move from one thing to the next, to the next, from one town to the next. That really shows that the level of resilience that is important for a strive for changing company. So many people that are being asked to actually look and see why not on the CV of my employee that is something good for the growth of my business or for his own resilience. So I think that's a very, very important point to make that we have thought about education in a very linear and limited way and setting skills in a linear and limited way. And also, if we think also about the point that you made on I guess business entrepreneurship is that one of the things we always have already more introduced talk about the economy. The one is very poor, why. And he said, we also talk about those things now. We talk about something called the culture or the informal sector. Now, I mean, these are all different definitions because when you look at about the informal sector, typically means businesses that are not paying that because you are below the criminal threshold or something, but there is kind of shops. And the thing about this fellowship is an informal. Whenever you take in a fellowship, for example, it sells cookies, you know, bread, sell bread, all of those products are produced in the formal sector. So that actually you can think about separating the formal and the informal sector is highly a problem in the state. And in fact, businesses that are in the so-called formal sector have to promote and support the informal sector. Uh,
Seeing retail giants infiltrating for the township markets rather than, empowering the already existing township, sponsor shop owners, for example. What does that then mean in terms of, a lack of synergy between, the different economies that President Abu Bakr that you are talking about?
it's something else for one area that's really great is to think about. If you are, for example, a mantra, and you know that this person comes to buy every month, a certain quantity. And that actually you grow if you're someone. So, for example, if you have a client, you know that those continual terms. So you pay after 30 days or pay after 90 days or whatever. And that actually then gives the person credit. Remember, most small businesses don't have access to credit, so that would help your account. And if you know that this is my client who actually see it all the time, can you extend for the credit and then you can help them up and in that account. So those really try to always buy no money, whatever, doesn't go to future. But if they have no doubt about that means they will be setting up, to grow it. And what we want is as a compare or I sort of like the beginning maybe as a SaaS code or whatever. Isn't it? That you want to then empower that person to grow so that you yourself then begins to grow. And then again, there's this idea that we talk about all the time called inclusion. That people are not included. I mean, people used to say, you can it's going to be this one. There are more and more examples. Like that. Actually, I saw a story in Mexico. So the one in that, actually, many people have playing Germans. And what happens is that many people, for example, go into the nearest shop where they borrow, they buy bread on credit or buy bread or all of these things that they buy milk and all of that. And and they keep the books. They always keep the book in the shopkeeper. And then you come and pay. They decided this have to collect all of that data and put it into a system. And it's really on its actually when we think about it. If I were moral, I mean I go and buy bread and not to command it by paying that. That's exactly what it is, right? We all actually do that. And suddenly we tend around the whole way on credit worthiness. This is also true. In the sense, you would give the informal sectors as well.
That makes sense. Do you want to add on that? Well, sounds like getting very controversial. Okay, too many controversial. So let's straight to me, guys. In the township, so I learned every village went from the township now in Victoria. But we never see bakeries in our townships and but we consume more bread. So why there's no need for them to actually bring the bakery closer to where people buy bread? You can see outline coming. They all constantly we are constantly chasing and moving through posts. Each and every time you are told that one, you are going to be successful if this person invests on you and hand, but they're constantly moving away from empowering particularly black people. We've had great policies in South Africa, the EE, for instance. It was a great conception. Maybe implementation is something else, but the two economies they still exist because there are people who are still handling the two economies, knowing very well that these ones who are poor and there are going to constantly chase after us to come and get more money and earn, but we never bring money into them in their own areas. The township economy and the small business enterprise. When you look into their policies and their mandates, we want to keep the township economy on in the townships. That's great. But why can't they expand and be the greatest businesses in the continent if there's that opportunity? And if someone else in the suburbs has a bakery that's selling cake, then it's seen as a small business one four ways stuff. They never. They are still in the big business type like that get loan in debt. So if we are going to look into this, we look into it on a class perspective, but also without fear or favor. We must also look into what does it mean in terms of race, because this is the legacy of apartheid and the colonialism that started in South Africa. If we don't redress that and fight as now for young people and speak about it, name them, because these are problems that exist. If you don't name them, they won't be solved. So if we can engage and say the township economy is not necessarily propelling forward, we want to enter into the real economy as well. And let's be also sure. Let's also be controversial about it because for the typical players in the township economy to grow and engage meaningfully, it means that they would have to professionalize. And many of them have not registered businesses. Also don't think much about customer care, and that's also controversial, right? Because it's like, what is customer care according to Busisiwe, right? But there's still a long way to go in terms of professionalizing that world, and a lot of them are not engaging in that. And so, how do they expect to grow? Do we actually even blame government for doing that? Because it seems that an individual or a country sponsor shop owner should be doing to improve himself to play with the main players.
Okay, so this just I don't think much recently, but I think maybe people speak on their experiences. But the first thing that's really important, I forgot to say about it. So we probably think we tend to probably this very big thing. The kind of really like actually it's about connecting, to goods and services wherever they will be. So if you're in a village, that's a great economy. If you are, for example, you're in the supplier, a good example here, this person who was on that video, that's already participating in the economy in a very real sense. So it's an eggs, they produce, they sell, saying is also planning to expand. So that is the economy. And what we need to do then is to see how do we get more people in the economy. That is to say, more people who are economically active. But on the question that you asked about professionalization, one that is more about the customers. Yes. We really, the other day I was at a restaurant and
Here we go.
in the broad, it was in the fish place. They ordered, I think, prawns, fish and prawns. What they received was fish and, what's that chili thing? Calamari. But and then the lady said, I didn't order calamari. And the waiter said, I'm sorry, ma'am. And they didn't quite get it. We do that, right? But now you say, I mean, I challenge you to find why you consider these calamari when you order prawns, just like that. But with that, let's take it up. So we have, if you don't answer it, someone will order it right away. You're ordering 2 weeks, 2 months ahead of time. And it doesn't get delivered until the whole movie they're still switching it on and all of that. Because the actually availability is a very, very big part. So we don't want to actually back to the initial question that I asked, whether young people, entrepreneurs, or whoever is in that space and engaging with the economy is aware that they're engaging in the economy. Because, like I said, you think of it as a big thing. Maybe for people who speak a certain, high level of English, but you putting home and selling it to your community members is you engaging in the economy. Are we actually aware of the relationship that we have and how we're supposed to service it? I think it's a mindset thing. That's this colonial mindset. It's really, really difficult to bring away from. Because I think the business are doing for me. Now, some businesses are bigger than others, but they're still businesses. You see that also, for example, there's a lady that is with Alice who don't know which places 4,000 from a husband. Now, the market has a by 4.4, so that's a lot of money. And obviously, the potential for growth But you can see other things are valuable because every day she at the spot on and ignoring on the outcomes that she needs to. And you can allow that I'm going to work. And I think that I'm going to pick up my mom again from my way home. And and I hope that she's there and welcome. And that's important for taking yourself seriously as a business and your customer seriously. Because if I rely on my way to work, pick up my way, I'm lying. And you know, and you feel this little present and you feel it of yourself in the business. You don't know in terms of how you feel yourself, as you really and we provide we respect and we bring our differences and we one on that way. So we feel it comes into other things that we have they're essentials now. Like if I say no man, I talk very close. So once you really the cause I think because it's just something I'm doing when I'm looking for a job. So then now I'm here. Oh, the more of my day there for about 10 years or more. So you tell me that you actually appreciate that really I had a job there. I'm thinking of more really and I'll produce it. And I think the only point now is to how to support them then to be able to say, for example, hire a whole program businesses in place.
Choosing that as a case, this is volume setting up in Alexander Township, right? The reason why she's probably not going to be in a position where she's hiring more people and empowering more people in her community is her personal circumstances, and actually bring it back to that because that person's money, 4,000 rands in the biggest scheme of things, the biggest scheme of things would be a child that is not in education, who is unemployed, and all the other challenges. It means that the money that she's making really is nothing because she still has to support dependence and other issues related to being in this economy. So how do these elements, personal elements, then hinder entrepreneurs or people like that from growing in the economy and going into the formal sector, like he says? Well, the one thing that for me that hinders particularly small businesses and township business owners is the the banking system. How you when you apply for a loan, they ask for a collateral and the collateral we are told it must be a house, this and this and that. Many young people do not have those things to actually offer as collateral, right? And maybe to pick back on the question on the professionalism and the consistency of the people in the townships, they are the most consistent and trustworthy people we've ever seen. If you know there's a Kolda place in Soweto, you can drive from Sandton to Soweto, you know you'll find Kolda there, right? And secondly, in terms of customer service and the question of hygiene, I have seen black people, and particularly people from the township, as the cleanest people ever. Forget about the fact that the what you call the service delivery is not done to take out the trash again. But generally, people keep their houses clean, and their businesses they are clean as well. So those things, maybe the lens we look at there is very important. Or if we're looking at the space ahead. But in terms of their growth, it's very important that if they want to grow, right, they want to get more money so they can expand their business, they can actually build more structures, employ more people. That needs capital. Where do you get capital? You get capital from banks. Who owns the banks and who makes decisions in banks? It's people who are not favorable to people who are from the township and the small business owners. So those are the hindrances. But again, the other hindrance that we have is also us not supporting each other. If you have, I've seen people on social media, you book a makeup, you book hair, or you book for anything, right? From a black business owner, and then they mess up. The next thing you say, I will never support black people again. Yeah. What is that? Right? One person disappoints you, the next thing you decide you never do that again. So the preference that we have also based on our social standing and also how we want to be perceived would rather come to Sandton to do our hair or would rather go to a place where there's less people who are coming there so I can be seen in a particular way. We had to support people in our townships. We hardly even buy stuff from Mugo or selling some fruits on the street. How many times to buy fruits on the street, right? But we'd rather go to other big stores and push a trolley because we want to buy the 79 rand peaches, right? So it's very important that as much as we look into them, we look into our actions as well. How do we support them? Because for them to be the greatest, then that we need to stand on our shoulders. Greatest stand on people's shoulders, and then I think maybe the next 10 years we'll see a lot of cohort of black people, yeah, this group having booming businesses because we have supported like I want us to move
Sorry,
to
maybe on this question around how does the entrepreneur who makes 4,000 legislation, we haven't said anything about government. I think this is where the failure is. Because the money we have should not be for all of these things. So, for example, there's something called the social wage that's in economics basically the wage that comes from public services. So, for example, an efficient and cost-effective transport system. So, a working train system is important because it's cheaper. So, if you're going to pick up anything, so you don't have to pay the money that you have to pay, for example. In South Africa, the inflation for poor people and which is far apart. Or people pay 2.4% more, which are its price than poor people than rich people. But that's because obviously more people use taxis and then we have to send taxis. And education system that's falling apart. So that I feel, people are trying to get their kids to schools that are far away, which actually also cost more money. Hospital systems that are not working, so basically you have to go to private doctors instead of going to so your 4,000 rand doesn't go very far. And that's because actually the public system and our politicians are paying this money to provide those basic things that then allow the 4,000 rand to go far. And that's where the problem with that.
and I think you're reading my mind because I wanted us to move to the things that are not working. That then lead to these added issues and long-standing issues that we're dealing with, like youth unemployment. If we look at ESCOM, for example, and how that directly affects an entrepreneur. I'm wondering, in the bigger scheme of things, how things not working in our country is affecting young people and preventing them from being key players in the economy.
The biggest cause are these funding institutions. I'm still my brain from the starting business thing. Side business here. But one of the things that you notice immediately, if you've ever, I've owned my own business, when you go to where it used to be called Umsobombo in my day, I'm not sure what it's called now, with people that have never owned business, so have no capacity to understand the language of a business. And so they stick to their formal thing. This is what we need to take. And then we go. And nobody wants to think about why do people go through the language of the person. I saw the other day, I went to they said a story of a 10-year-old business. They're still women inside and they said she had not she had stolen people's pension. Now, every month, when you are a business person, you consider what you have to pay salary. Now, when you pay a salary, 100,000 rand and you're doing 5 people. And then on that, you're supposed to then also go and pay as you earn and all of these other things in life. And well, like unemployment insurance fund, I don't and won't go after pay that yourself. Now, if you only have the 100,000 rand, what you want to do is to try and demand it out. You're gonna say, for now, we can keep paying salaries. I'll tell you when finally we have enough. The cash flow. Now, sorry, it's difficult to do. But most people run businesses and employ people. Really try to make ends meet, and they will always try. And so you are my client and so you're looking at somebody's pages and you say, what am I actually trying to understand here? So instead, all a business person operates the mindset. And that way, if I see something here, I can understand what the plan actually is. And then we should do it. And so we have all of these funding institutions led by people where this public initially with application forms from the institution that will never own this. They do not understand they cannot read this. And then they actually then apply the principles of the formal or mainstream banking system. Even though we are saying that actually this is not a banking, this is actually a government support program. And so we really, that's where we are starting. I suspect while we are in that paradigm, we're not going anywhere.
Sure. Don't forget that we are live on YouTube. I think it's 100 Shining Stars 2023. You can as well just forward any questions via X. I'll just find out now what our hashtag for today is. And it's ready in the room because we will be giving you a mic if you'd like to weigh in on the topic or if you have a question for our panelists today. And so the whole point is to discuss solutions, and I'm very wary about that because, as a broadcaster, I speak a lot on such platforms, and I interview people like yourselves on a daily basis. Well, not on a daily basis, but regularly, right? And I don't know if there's a solution. I she doesn't either. Well, to say one leader from one of the political organizations once said yesterday in one of the interviews that South Africa has a heroic mentality that there's someone who's going to come with solutions for everything, which is not the case. I think that is not possible. But I think from the 60 million that we have in South Africa, solutions can come from all of us in bits and pieces, right? Maybe to come back to the question you're asking earlier on, and maybe why as for the state of young people and the challenge that they face, where in South Africa, most of the things are not working, right? So also being in South Africa is also sometimes a great privilege, right, compared to the rest of the world. South Africa has nice policies theoretically, South Africa has nice opportunities when you know the right people, right? Or when you are in the right room and people speak about you. So young people in this country are facing a lot of things that hinders them from being great entrepreneurs from the communities that we stay in, right? You are faced a lot of ills such as drug and alcohol abuse. You are faced with challenges with mental health issues that young people deal with. Also, again, you go to the education system in the public domain, the public education system, do not prepare to be ready to be entrepreneurs, right? You are maybe grade 9 EMS there, you go into your physics, your maths, and your consumer studies, your economics. That is great, but it never prepares you to actually, after matric, you start your business, right? So you don't have the right tools to actually even approach someone for funding. But also, there is a phenomenon that was carved by Mapungube Institute, the phenomenon of waithood, right? If you don't know anyone who's been through an internship, raise your hand. And every other young person is expected to go through an internship, one internship after the next if you are lucky. But many young people, they graduate, they go to school, acquire education, they wait at home, waiting for something to happen, right? And that phenomenon cuts across. You've gone to university, you've acquired your qualification, you've done your training in your service. And there's this cloud that every other young person must wait. You are likely to get a job after getting your qualification or get your big break after starting your business. One young person in South Africa has this place to wait with, right? And you get to a workplace. The workplaces that we get to big corporate, big business, there's also gatekeeping, right? Yes, young people, you must earn your stripes. That's important. But also there's this thing that you are still 25. No, it's fine. You can still make tea for me and hand. No, this is a professional space. You have intellectual labor to do. You are here to do that. And there's no need for young people to actually now to be made people who serve tea in workplaces where they are employed to do it. Right? If people need people to make tea for themselves, they must hire them. That's important. Pay them more sufficiently as well. And also, you mentioned ESCOM. there's no way that we can speak about our country's problems and not mention load shedding. Many businesses have closed. Many people have lost their jobs. Many people have lost money because there's load shedding. And load shedding is the failure of our government. You cannot say anything. I think, yeah, we can speak about the private sector, but our government has failed in this regard. And load shedding is continuing to affect many more people. And if there's not end, many businesses are going to fail. But maybe if people go off the grid, which needs more money, it's going to be very unfair for many young people who want to go into business. But this doesn't mean that many young people should not go into business. Go into business, find alternatives. And I know young people in South Africa are very busy. But how we know, because people owns a car wash in Alexandra, for example, has to stop operating for 4 hours. Like, are we, like, it's almost unbelievable. It's almost unbelievable what we're going through. It's almost unbelievable. I mean, in every sphere of our lives, we can talk about even medium sized businesses like who are the people who, funeral parlors, for example, their fridges have to be off for 4 hours. And that lets down people, who are mourning, right? And that means delivering a body that is not in a good state. So that affects load shedding affects every sphere of our world. It's just
It's crazy. Crazy. I mean, the part, I mean, I not just a professor. We're talking about sorry, the part of it, I mean, the only thing I can have is in the office administrators are not going to make a lot of text and stuff. And also, these computers are running on remote, so I guess. But, and and for those people who are entering, one of the things, remember, we talk about the thing of business. I need to really know, I need to really get business and maybe still business easy. So it's one thing, for example, to be able to go online and register a business and then get a particular for this registration documents and blah blah blah, start one blah 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 blah, and then get an open. But then you have to actually have a business. Like many people think your business is the registration. It's not the registration. People say, I own a company. So you don't own a company. First you've got to be doing the work. And so if you have no energy, and you also know that the one percent themselves are running out of that. So most businesses actually don't have the and in this kind of many there's not any water. People that last year, which are only minute when find have water in their bathtubs because you don't know when you're not going to get water to flash to it. Now, if you are running a business like yourself, I mean, the new water than a spray and I want to say. And so most businesses are also thinking because of other failure. And when people about accountability, I was talking about typically how people businesses like the one. So your investor, your person, whoever you interact with, you've got to be careful so that they do better. And say you but also we have to be careful about happening. So and that's really I want to be able to do that frustration.
Registering to vote that involves politics of communities and our country as well. And so, do we even have the capacity to engage politically when we're dealing with economic issues? And so, it's that decision that I talked about earlier on about do I buy bread or do go to my nearest internet cafe to register a business or even try to find employment. And so some people will say that young people are not engaging enthusiastic in politics because there are primary economic things that they have to deal with every day. She has taken the mic, so there's a very nice concept of the personal is political. So if when you buy bread, who's supplying bread to you, or you pour petrol, that's a political question. So politics
the quicker we get involved. By it, you want to put your hands, by it, you want us to vote for you, or you hold your leadership accountable, the better. It's important. And I see that we have one of our contenders for next year's elections, David Kawa. It's important that you see young people who actually put their foot forward and say, I want to change my community. Because in honest truth, there's no one who's coming to come and save us. And the people who are leading us currently in government now, I saw a mock candidate for next year from this other news channel that we can't name. They have the average age is 69 years old. A 69-year-old wants to make decisions for this country. Meanwhile, there's a room filled with young people who are shining stars. So I am going to be a bit, sometimes I get to be harsh with my siblings at home. Like if they were contesting this idea of going to register to vote for. And I was like, you cannot say that. It cannot be that because you don't know who to vote for, then you refuse to register to vote. The registration to vote is the passage for you to actually go into the room where you can decide I'm going to vote for a particular organization. And it is important that you go and register to vote if you have not done it. Not only because we want your excellent country day you say you are an active citizen of this country, but to actually safeguard our democratic system. And people have also one understanding that democracy is actually maybe one of the good ways of governance we've seen for South Africa because we have a particular past. But also for us to actually not to threaten democracy, we must participate in safeguarding it. Safeguarding it means that you being able to go and vote, if there is a meeting in your community, attend, know your councillor, ensure that at some point the bills that are passed in parliament. I know there are people in education here. What does the BELA mean for communities, for education, for parents, for learners as well? So those are politics. Politics is not only bunch up and down or like a mandala. No, it's actually taking accountability for your own actions, but also safeguarding even your communities against people who are going to squander our country because they're going to squander our country and try to live in the next 10 years. Sure. So I'm going to move around and take questions from the audience. I don't know if this mic will go offline, but let's try. Someone is Hi, kunjani? Ngiyaphila. Igama nguNothowandile. Sorry, as the academic that I know, I write down my notes. So I want to just circle back to what Uyologazi has said. She's actually a colleague of mine because we are both in political studies and international relations field. But I think we need to be very cognizant of the fact that within the community of people of color, so the POC, and particularly the Black community, I have found that the clique mentality that we have within the communities, where respect will be given according to who you affiliate yourself with in relation to your education, your socio-economic status, and background, is what I've learned, and also quite recently, especially with the national elections coming up next year, which political party you are affiliated to. We cannot deny the amount of elitism and classism that we have amongst our own community. And that is primarily the biggest reason why we are having such a pushback when it comes to young Black South Africans actually having a foothold within not just the economic sector, but also in every other sphere. We're talking political, social, economic. I'm in the women and gender studies, but I specifically deal with the advancement of non-racialism and democracy. And democracy only works in this country for a certain demographic. And once we actually discuss that and decolonize that, that is when Black South Africans can actually have a foot in any of the sectors that we have in this country. Especially talking to, okay, so outside the legal background. So our constitution actually focuses on a certain demographic. Once we decolonize our constitution, which is the cornerstone of our legal um, framework and legislation in this country, that is when you'll find opportunities, etc., for black communities as well as people of color. But until we actually have those uncomfortable conversations, created in this country, that's the but until we have those uncomfortable conversations and we actually are people to not just ourselves, but the legislation that impacts us, then we can actually have those kind of numbers that we are needing for the national elections next year. But until we no, no, no. Until we are over years and are you who what affiliation does to us on a daily basis, we are not going to move forward as a community. Thank you.
I don't think that was a question. Thank you so much for it. Yeah, and a reminder, definitely a much needed reminder. I mean, but decolonization, discussions around that, and the actual work having to be done requires work and time. And like you said, almost like a commitment to have it done. And I wonder if that's going to happen. So, Cecilia, I have a question.
My say that is actually what I said, which is I agree in my indigenous language. I don't identify myself as a college. I believe that I'm a Khoisan, which is the first indigenous people of Southern Africa. I have a solution also in regards to with the businesses, especially with us as young people opening up your own businesses, it's very important for you to actually register your business with CIPC so that you can have your documents in place because you can get funding grants with CETA and CIFA. They do assist, and especially with township businesses, small businesses, where they even give up to loans up to from 5,000 rand, depending on what it is that the business needs. So that is a solution for them. And then another thing is back to us as the so-called governments. In our communities, it's very difficult because we don't actually form part of the triple BEE because we excluded. There's only a certain percentage where we are calculated in there. Where I feel that it's unfair towards us because if we look at our so-called colored communities, where there's learnerships and yes, learnerships that is being offered, but in the class of 25, it's not even being racist, guys, but in our township, the colored I'm from Elderapa, then it means only three colors can be, so-called colors can be in the class, and the rest should be black. But I don't, first it was we weren't white enough, but then we fought for the struggle as well. Now we're not black enough one nation. So that is a struggle for us as a so-called is that opportunities are not really granted for us, especially when it comes into the triple BEE. So please don't forget, guys, we use the businesses and advance funding. Get your papers in order. SIDA and SIFA does help us, especially for the youth and young men and women. There is opportunities there for us to get funding. Thank you.
Can I quickly just
Did you want to respond?
I don't think it's true. For color people are not included in gym working space. It's a certainly not true. And I think there's been a long perpetuation of this thing. It's not true. And yes, of course. I mean, I think that's just if you think about it, the census has come out recently, and you need to tell us the percentages of people in terms of the demographics. So, for example, currently are now only 7%. I think Arab people maybe just about 10%, and the people around the same, people 80%. Of course, we're not all going to go, because there are four different groups. Let's get everybody 25, 25, 25, 25. One of the things that are important to recognize is also that we come from a history that is, as I said, maybe you're not black enough, you're not kind of kind of school in Cape Town. When I run in those schools, they remind me empowered, with, the building the infrastructure. There's no one like, what do we do? And even now, I think I still think so. So what is to say, probably I think that political science from where we are and I think move us forward. In 20 then I think that be quite like everything. Like the other thing, or so we probably just see when they all actually have, we see a lot of people and it's not possible in a catch as divided as in terms of the percentage of people. So I think it's really great to ask the first of that. to keep perpetuating the idea that colored people are actually forgotten that don't have insight into the result of employment, the employment equity report, then the most reports, if you really can see the info that. So the organizers are not well represented. But I do want to say though that the well representing and range of the advice they people that are like that with the service special. Okay. I wanted to respond to that, but the other question back particularly, but I thought that was later.
Thank you so much. We have more questions. We're just going to take two for the interest of time because we also need to get through the various categories and present awards. Please introduce yourself and ask your question today.
Sure. Okay, so I'm Mohammed. I'm a medical student from UKZN. I'm in fourth year. And I want to start off by thanking the panel for the wonderful discussion. Because in terms of my question, and I think that you made an important point that you must include the government in the initiatives and the projects, but particularly when it comes to you, what do you think that the politicians want from you? Because from the experience that I have in the Department of Health, there's a sense of reluctance, there's a sense of resistance to take on the initiatives and the projects on the part of youth. I was fortunate to be shortlisted by the World Health Organization to do a presentation. The airport is in Switzerland. And when they come to them, when I engage with the Department of Health or the HOD and officials, they seem to be resistant. Oh, you are young, you have no experience. So it was advised in looking to the under to the shooting stars that this is what our politicians want to hear. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Noted that question and last question, Manny. Good morning. I'm Edith Palani from the University of Johannesburg. Let me first thank the panel for quite an enriching conversation, which is quite timely and very much needed. Just to chip in on some of the solutions that we can leverage on mentorship. Most of the time, they tell young people be innovative, go out of your way, be entrepreneur. But we know very well that we get those kind of skills at a later stage. But mentorship is one critical component that I believe can help us to succeed and do better. But not mentorship in an informal way, because most people do it in an informal way. We need to institutionalize it. I will tell you that to be where I am, if it was not because of mentorship, I would not have been. And in the units that I'm working in, we succeed on the basis of mentorship, but not in any informal way. We need to start formalizing it. And we need to start to, as I'm sitting here and ask myself, how many people are feeling along? The two of you, as you're sitting there as experts in your field, when you leave here, many people are going to take along with you and be there for them. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That reminds me of something that Oprah Winfrey generally says, where she says, I stand as one, but I'm not sure if it's 100 or 1,000. So it's a personal question that you're asking, how do we professionalize or formalize mentorship?
Well, yes, that is more of it's an important advice. And speaking about mentorship, then I thought about networking because mentorship happens when you have network. And motivational speakers say your network is your network, right? That becomes so important. And also mentorship, it means that you can get various skills from different people and advisors. And sometimes as young people who are created to do whatever they're doing, sometimes you can be your own child, assuming you have all kind of control. But if you have people around who are counsel, who are mentors, they can assist you to have great strides. That's a very important advice, and I hope everyone else in here some kind of mentorship. And I think that people like Kandu actually ensure that there's financing for institutions where they offer mentorship for young people. That is very important. So again, come back to the questions that we asked. Yes, the concerned people have been put on their side in South Africa. In the bed of our constitution in 1996, when they were testing some of the stuff in the constitution, they were not paid. It's something that the South African government constantly has engagement on in terms of how to ensure that we see the Khoisan people, but also they feel like they belong in South Africa. Because this country has been fought for by everyone else, including the Khoisan people. They are very great in terms of the education and knowledge systems and how they have actually ensure that they pass their culture. And it's very important that we have this conversation so that we are not forgotten. Someone has said that our struggle is a struggle of memory against forgetting living our past. So that's very important. And the question of was not asked a question related to a lack of willingness from key players, from government, people at the top, of hearing young people and always saying, young people don't have experience or they're just too young to know. And it's an issue that you touched on, regarding politics, so far as, the leaders of political parties and people who represent us, it's all to please us. Give us all Mohammed is something that also encountered, right? And the political space is never friendly to young people, it's never friendly to women, LGBTIQ plus. It's very an old man age when they make decisions. But also, it seems that the young people in politics themselves, they allow for this to be great when it's the other organization that we do participate conference for young people. Interviewed by this other news channel. Oh, what is the state of young people? These young people, they are 35 plus. They are contesting to be only for this country. Meanwhile, the average age in South Africa is younger than 30, right? Yes. But these people they are going to be on a wing of a political organization. Meanwhile, they are the custodians in this country making decisions. So it's important that if you're in political space, do not relegate yourself in your capacity, your leadership, your amazingness into serving only where everyone is at and in the center making decisions. It's not going to be easy. They will not sell it on a silver platter, unfortunately. At some point, you have to say, of course, you have to say, no, I not do it, I don't want it, this is what I want. That then becomes more important. Sure. And maybe to have the question on the constitution, decolonization, and clicks. I said initially on the businesses, we like to be seen culturally, and also the spaces we keep. We have this obsession in education, how educated we are, so that other people who are not have not been in institutions of higher learning, we don't see them as human enough as people can contribute in the discussions as we can. It's important that as educated as you are, when you go to first forums or when you go to one learning, for instance, for conference learning, you do not necessarily put yourself on a pedestal. Conversations with people, be able to relate to people on a human basis. If your PhD thesis, you cannot talk about it to a taxi driver or a person who sells the Africa on the street or the guy pushing a toy else on the hide your education right out. Yes. Important items. Decolonization and being able to articulate the challenges that we are facing. And also the solutions we bring for the challenges we are facing in our community. I'm going to get in trouble. So this is the last one from you.
Yeah, General, and I'm going to sound a little bit hard. But when you look at honestly, the movie we hear here quite an effort, it's like, that when it is, the words when, I am looking for my interest and I'm trying to convince everybody else to follow my interests. It's such a great point, and you never listen hoping. And someone is saying, yes, sir, it's going to be able to give that up. you know nothing. And I think we have that question about these are doing this, but I really think people be conflict. They work together for a particular outcome. That's why they're lady. And so many of us keep sitting here and saying, well, this country is down, so well, yeah, I know people speak for the making the room, but I think the speeches this classroom. And I thought, there's something amazing young people. And this is the why we got the ruling guy is because you're waiting for someone to come and tell you how it's still going to happen. And then that's going to you guys that I like by that. Which means we need that to honestly. It's an I'm not writing this stuff now for two hours, so it's better. But for the moment that people there are lots of spaces belong to people who say, for example, you call your colleagues mama. Don't call your colleagues mama. These are not romantic. These are not romantic. So when you go down to the mama situation, you already broken down. And you are not going to get expect me in this business.
Current misunderstandings is a broad topic. We could go on for forever, the whole day, really. Thank you so much to our panelists for joining us today and sharing their knowledge. Really, we enjoyed this. Yeah, on we had a musical piece, and I'm hoping he is getting his instrument ready. Terrence is going to serenade us after all of that English that was right slowly on the podium, which we really grateful for the knowledge, of course. We're going to take a little break while he serenades us, and we're going to present awards straight after that. So much, Terence. Thanks. Can you hear me? Perfect. Thank you so much. A round of applause for Terence. In the beginning, we brought you one of the shining stars doing well in the field of agriculture. And it's time for us to meet the rest of them before presenting the awards this morning.
My name is Dubey. I'm the founder and managing director of Navigating Star India, which is a digital publishing business that primarily targets the youth demographic. Nominated in the business category. So the impact that Youth Village, for instance, which is one of our best digital platforms has had, was that because the platform primarily aimed at facilitating better access to developmental youth information around areas like education, entrepreneurship, opportunities, health, etc., etc. The platform has been very influential in helping South African young South Africans get access to resources that ordinarily would have been very hard for them to get. On the continent, we've been able to capitalize on the success of the project in South Africa and expand to Botswana, Kenya, Nigeria, and Zimbabwe, and we've had very good success with the platform. My name is Masha Arunditi. I'm 27 years old, totally at Limpopo. I started my business because the vending passion inside me for writing, and I have seen a lot of writers. So after I stopped writing for myself, I told myself that I need to go out there and write for other people and help them fulfill their writing dream. After the activity of a vending 50 publishing company, we publish books, we ghostwrite. I feel like I was made to make literature fashionable. I was made to make people aware that there's literature out there and we need to invest in it like all the other things that people invested in the world.
Good evening, my name is William Balata. I reflect in instantly. I'm a medical doctor by day and a dream chaser after hours. I am the 2023 South African Trailblazer as well as former United Nations Change the World Model UN Ambassador and the former Global Youth Ambassador for an organization called Their World, a UK-based organization that advocates for UN SDG 4 and 5. It goes without saying that I love what I get to do because my greatest advocacy is working towards the mitigation of socio-economic issues as they have an overall impact on the mobility of chronic diseases as well as healthcare access. And I believe that my past work is a true testimony that I embody the core values of transformational leadership. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is exactly what a shining star is.
Project maybe to that's in maybe of to from organization from the exam for notes and then full John's hopes and them and really never understand. But we don't maybe focus on energy and those they speak for themselves. The programs they improve, which is social support, skills development, and health business. In through those programs, we are able to educate for community members and young people, especially in sensitive legalization. With that said, I would like to appreciate inside education this program in such an honor to be recognized as young people and wish to serve and continuing and advocating excellence for you for the youth in our um,
A round of applause for these incredible individuals. Just a few of them who are doing exceptionally well. I must say the doctors are gunning for my job because it looks like, they're great MCs and broadcasters as well. But it's time now to announce the names of the people who are included in the 100 South African Shining Stars. And from Inside Education, it's a great pleasure to reflect on these individuals from the education category. To join me on stage so he can give out those awards. And one by one, I'll be, of course, reading the names of the people. Of course, we just had to make it a little fancy, I've had a little bit of music and pizzazz. Instead of having this girl reading out Oni. Round of applause for Nakitana Shiani. You know that you are included in the education category. Please be ready. I will be calling your name out. But Sana, congratulations. Wonderful. Clara Sitoling. A smile would be wonderful, ma'am. Congratulations. Kumulemo Nkosi. How did she get her prize? Jessica Ronison. Forget that prize. Don't forget that. Forget. That's what you said today. Tapi so ngangkana. Okay, ba? Nanga. Please do correct me. I welcome that. Bekele. I'm kidding. Chocolate kele. Wait, he's not chatting up. Lutando. Lutando Molife. Jubilant Lane. Jubilant Lane. Diba? Something highlight, but everybody needs to get the same level of congratulations. Oh, that's my wonderful. Siphakeme Tabela. Siphakeme. No, not yet. Tony McGuire. Is Tony here? Congratulations to him. Chamano Mabuba. Chamano. Nice, beautiful name. Congratulations, ma'am. Seppo Sicile. Sicile like Sicile or he probably will explain himself. I'm going to get of the first. So Sicile. 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 There we go. Congratulations. And that was the last one from the education category. Be smart about this, DJ. As you're playing the people from the philanthropy category, I'll try and use their names and you just come up. Yes, eh? Because hey, breakfast must be served. And now, the shining stars in the okay. Let's go straight into it. That's fine. In the philanthropy category. Bokang Ragazza. Chet Muyema. Charlotte Malega. Sherry Mofugay. Julia Lemequane. Kuliso. Oh, I'm struggling to see that. Portia Carlson. Siabulela Sophie. And Tabang Mahuza. Congratulations. Bokang Rapanta. Is Bokang Rapanta here? Has really arrived. Bridget Muyema. Charlotte Mororisei. Mulega. Malega. Cheryl Mufugay. Julia Lemequane. Kuliso Mubambo.
the need. That was the slogan, right? See, so the need, right? Shakals, I'm having so much of fun, guys. Siyabulela, Sophie. Is Siyabulela here? Tabang Mabuza. I sisi okay when I come along the right. Julia Limquad. Just gonna make an appeal when we play the contest not contestants, what do they call them? Finalists, thank you. In the business and entrepreneurship category, if you see your face and I, attempt to read your surname correctly, please stand up and line up so that we make it fast. Yeah. All right. I'm presenting the not contestants, the finalists under the business and entrepreneurship category. VJ running to play that. Bruce Ube. Jerry Jale. Anisile Mulava. Mwana. Lindo Hushe Sulu. Masha Ramili Game. Matimba Makaringe. Mines Concern. Globalosi Uwena. There is the Cholo. Lord. Cholo. Loluthando Mbuni. Yeyenge Fayong. Yabona ukuthi Mula. Guys, please forgive me. I cannot see the and I cannot refer to this because it's not in order. So it takes a lot to do what I do. I know I make it look, please correct me. And let's do the all right. Today. Jerry Charlie, Charlie. Charlie. Around the 14. Pile mula ba? Kaya, pulutan, puluana. Nah. Must be trying to say that. Lindo Bushe Zulu. Marcia Kamuhinge. Or Marcia. Which one is it, ma'am? Marcia. Congratulations. Matimba Mararinge. Mararinge. Matimba Makaringe. That's right. And people's names are political, you have to say it right. Mike Kosana. Mlondolozi Mukwena. I don't think I said Mlondolozi the first time around. I'm not sure what I said. Let's delete that. Newo Kolom.
Loluthando Muni. Congratulations. I forgot they said 100. And in the health category, the LI fucking funeral. Anele Siswana. Sinula. Dr. Abuyile Bangas. Dr. Yurika Mukhane Jones. Tamuratme Masima. Dr. Zolelwa Sipumba. Garabo Tatori. Paticero Matabake or Matabe. Malero Mahanya. Mohammed Hussain. Suleiman, I think is his surname. Paul Lizarzi. And was a doctor. Oh, hello. Getting right. And so Tony Suwane. Thank you. Tawa, so the first one after Sunday is this one. I look at my morning. Carol Masemola. Carol, yeah. So we had it. Carol. Yes, Carol Masemola. You know, good dyslexic, I was a news reader, but and next is Dr. Abuile Mbangata. Dr. Yurika Mohane Jones. Is Dr. Yurika here? Dr. Muratwe Masima. Is Dr. Masima here? Dr. Zolelwa Sipumba. I think you can call. Chelo Motabene. And a good daughter. Give it up for Dr. Motabene. Mahaya. Doctor. Yes. Doctor. Professional nurse. Yes. Dr. Mohammed Suleiman. Did I say that right? I'm great. Don't worry. Just take it. Congratulations. Paul Patani. Dr. Paul Patani. Hey, ，Congratulations, sir. Sukabato Zawani. The doctor's well. Not it. Professional nurse. A round of applause. Congratulations. Let's present the sports and recreation category. Lebo Machota. Yes, Machota. Kiraupeti Mashimo. Manga Mboto. Ombuto. Is it better? You don't know what I have here. Sipamanda Mbele. And I saved the last one for last because I do not know how to say this. Mutsu Muntsikwane, I think. I know, I'm serious. That's what I'm saying. Mutswahaye. Mutswahaye. Dipino. Mutswahaye. Beautiful. All lined up. Let's go again. Emily Matosa. In front of the camera, we shall go. Kirapezi Mashimo. Manda, did you say Mbata? Mbotone? Then you're right. I guess you don't know it. Yes. Mutswahaye Ditiro. Samanda Mbele. Congratulations. Ms. Pamanda wraps up the sports recreation category. Uneri. Samantha Mbele. Congratulations, amazing. Moving on to justice and law category. Colonel Mate. Moshe Toza. Lusanda Pikatane. Gibson Chabalala. Musa Nab. Asoka Bendal. Bendal. Congratulations to them. Do excuse me if it's not in order, but if I do call your name, please come up and line up. Or like the Brigadier Mathematics. All right. So under justice and law category, Brigadier Martin. Good close. . Munhle Khoza. Congratulations. Lusanga Sikhakhane. Mojalefa Shabalala. Musa, and Musa is it Mag? Musa Mag. And Previn is it Madan? Previn Asoka Madan. Previn wrapping up justice and law. For the environment category. Kim Williams, Harold Ribombo, Naledi Mueti, Paul Shobote, Tuelo Mutroba. Can those please line up to get the awards presented? Round of applause. In the environment category, presenting awards to Harold Ribombo, Kim Williams, Kim Williams, Serena Williams, Naledi Mueti, Paul Shibode, and Duelo Monroe. Country. Please do share these wonderful moments on social media. On the website, we are live on www.insighteducation.co.za. Insight Education on Facebook, on YouTube. You can find us on Insight Education, on X, Insight_edu, right? At Insight_edu. Time now to present arts and culture category. Africa or Africa Yose, Luca Lambo, Emily Mabasa, Karabo Muhanem, Josiane Mudau or Mudau, Cabo Lihodi, Nya Ohanya Mohashua, Lirato Kwe, Evans Magagadeli, Nizamo Bunene, Yolanda Zondi, Fortisang Nshabiso. Please line up to present the arts and culture category to them. Congratulations, a round of applause for Africa, your friend. It will Africa. Africa. Africa, my daughter, a round of applause. Luka Lambo. Emily Mabasa. Quintione Motang. Be nice. Emily Mabasa. Congratulations. Quintione Motang. Parado Mukani. Paro Lipodi. Let's rejoice Habo here. Right? Mukatua o Mukashwa is the Kanya, and then it's Lerato Pape. There's a bomb or there's yeah. There's a part of it because you didn't brief me, team. Confetti or something. No gunshots, please. Even Mukakadeli. Nizamo unene. Todo sangue está liso. Yolanda Zondi. Congratulations. That was the arts and culture category. A round of applause. There. Science technology category. Sanda Ngobo. Dr. Edith Palane. Dr. Edward Nganimeng. Mapula Lisailane. Amalo Musala and Zime Umano. So just one. Oh, they do each other. Reunion. Give them the moment. I signed up for words. I got it here. Dr. Palani. Dr. Ika. Dr. Ingarime. Mapuna Lisailane. Lisailane. Salam and Sige Umalo. Bacon and eggs coming soon. Don't want Napila. Now moving to civil society and youth category. About Ayo. Sa Imachevese. Tere Melanie. Stefani. Basivana Happy Pizzo. Chiara Tracy. Jubilee Rico. Hello Chilwa. Mnotho wandile Cele, Tinashe Mlambo, Sadie Brown, perfect Nkosi, Spesihle perfect Nkosi. Exactly Nkosi, Nkosi. Congratulations. Yazi ngabe bekuyipiyani hayi. Sokuzwa kahle ukuthi sizelekile la. Please feel free to correct me. Getting your name right is important. The first is Annelisa Machebese. Sonele Melapi. Nkosi Fani. Basetsana Khumalo ngiyadlala. Basetsana Pitso. Chiara Tracy. The Chiara. Kiara. Oh, beautiful name. Kiara Tracy. Jubilee Ribombo. Naledi Chirwa ngiyadlala. Hauhelo Chirwa. Bekikele. Mnotho wandile Cele. What a beautiful name. Nicholas Tinashe Mlambo. Soon to be Dr. Shusay. Sadie Brown. Spesihle Nkosi. Spesihle yeah. And Zanele Mbongose. Congratulations. Ngiyabona ngama-outfits ukuthi yilaba abaphaphayo. Ama-prefect. Assembly president. Speaking of which, up next would be politics and governance category. Boitumelo Molete, David Kambwa, Tumele Mashombe, Ron Masaula, Bahamwele Tonet. Yeah, I've picked up around 5 names for my future kids. Beautiful names you have, guys. Right, in the politics and governance category, Boitumelo Molete. Congratulations. David Kabwa. Is that right? Yes. Perfect. David Kabwa. Umele Mahlombe. Is it Umele? Umelele. Ngoba kahle like C. John Masaula. Sabisa, I'm sure you don't like the name Don. Do you use Don? Kulubiteng is. Oh, right. When it's a slave name, you don't want to know what mine is. Ah. Palet.
I don't get it. All right, so that was done. Then Bangweli Soneti. Did I say that right?
Hamwe.
Like it when you speak foreign French. Congratulations, sir. Siapusha, last category. A round of applause, please. These are the taxi drivers, the taxi owners, the bus drivers, yeah, and logistics, transport and logistics category. Some getting seaway, Sodi, Solo, Solo, yeah. Just two, just two under this category. There's this taxi driver, I'm from Alexander Township, there's this taxi driver, Malakan, who everybody knows in the community, and trust me, you know, his taxi is kitted with the best sound system, you know, proper music pumping. I feel like he should have been included here. I don't understand why he's not here. Transport and logistics category, Samgeli Sibezoni. Interested in what you do exactly and the transport and logistics, ma'am. Just after taking the picture.
No, so it's just broader scope, but it's travel and tourism, and then under that, transport services and then carrying out retreat services basically.
Amazing. Congratulations. You might get a Tunga, but you're almost there. Polani Zulu. Exactly on the transport.
And all I'm gonna say is, all I'm gonna say is, they are moving the one right in Chili's and
That's what I have here. Beautiful moment. What beautiful morning. I'm so glad I had my morning sugar and my breakfast. Because usually I'm drunk. But you know, the spending time with you guys has been absolutely amazing. And of course, it's that time where you know we get the cutlery ready, the plates ready because it's time to eat, but not without the closing remarks from Tebe Mabanga from Inside Education. We are ready to eat. Give yourselves a round of applause, guys. You've done amazing.
Good morning. So my term is easy, right? It's just to the closing remarks. And my closing remark is, ladies and gentlemen, breakfast is served. Yes, this is just to say thank you. Thank you to all those involved in putting this together. First to KK Media, Matuma Inside Education, basically. Matuma Litwalo, whose idea this was a few years ago, right? Says, let's celebrate this young somewhere, what somehow. He said, how am I gonna go find them? Then he says, just call them powerful nominations, and then we profile these young people, bring them together and celebrate them. And here we are now. You are the next cohort. This is Then also to our one of those involved in writing of the profiles. So if you were in the transport and logistics, sports and recreation, as well as civil society categories, come and say hi, because I will probably go to profiles. And the other magical thing I found about all of I suspect this applies across categories. I sent out emails to the people whose profile I'm supposed to be writing, right? I request pictures, more info about what they do and all of that. I'm sorry to say only two of them met my requested initial deadline, right? Almost a week later, they haven't responded to my emails about what they do and send me their pictures. But when I talked to Faith at the office, they've accepted the invitation to this function. I'm like, how does this work? She will give me the info about what you do, but you already accepted the invitation here. But it either told me your emails work, the numbers I said to work, and yes, eventually information in. And I must say, as I say, the categories I got to do, you guys are doing amazing, right? From Poland, transport and logistics, and the text 24-hour text service they're running, and the app they're now developing. Sports and recreation, there was Paman that runs Nine Ghana's soccer team, Russian company. And then you've got civil society. Do we have Atempo Sifani? Is Atempo present? Should not. Oh, okay. It's just a pity. If Atempo was here, I would tell you, keep shining, girl. Gender ethics of note, doing wonderful, wonderful, and amazing things. And as Susie says, the names, not one thing. You just have to read that 3 times. You're doing amazing, amazing things, guys. Ozanile Mpumo said, a number of people say, of those 3 categories, if in comes a high because I like it. I'm telling that to that category with so many doctors. That sounds so intimidating. You might send telling a doctor, tell me what you do, send me a picture. I won't be able to do this. So I'm glad our not responsible for that category. Now, your profiles have been published in an ebook. It's been distributed to about 24,000 schools around the country, right? So 400,000 teachers, itself is now live on the Inside Education website. So you can get that, download it, send to your friends ahead of the Christmas lunch and say, look what I made, you know? And then when you're working there, the family will recognize. You know, I should try to get some things. But thank you to all involved. Lucy, thank you for your moderation skill and presenting skills. Wouldn't do as well as you. To our panelists, Kanti and Yulokasi, thank you for responding to our call to enrich our young people here. Your discussion certainly added value to today's proceedings. Thank you so much. And last but by no means least, of course, this event would not happen if it was not for the 100 shining stars who are in the room today. Keep doing what you do. And we merely give you a start on this platform, but keep doing what you do. Funders will find you and help you expand your work. New constituents and beneficiaries of your services will find you and continue to benefit from your work. And then when I did the civil society category, this is qualification. YALI, what's that? The African Leadership Initiative. Keep on. 22. Now, like, how old? Second. Friday, a lot of you quite connected to that. So yes, please do start calling to some of you when you want your own motivation, minus nominate and say minus things. Interpretation question. When you slow up. So I love how you say yourself. So please add in your credentials, right? Take pictures of our panelists, take pictures of our presenters. Again, more familiar to oh, it's a candy pie. Something for them, yes. Mrs. Yologano, Mr. Pretoria, you will be the talk of your family Christmas luncheon. Thank you so much. Our Christmas breakfast is thank you.
I have nothing else to say, guys. But thank you so much. Please enjoy the rest of your morning. Make sure that you of me. Alright. So there is a group picture, not a picture of me, but I think you can go that side then. Or here on the podium. Alright, so as we're eating, we're on to eating. Alright, so let's take a group photo of all the finalists and then straight after go to the back and breakfast and serve there.